Bristol Living Lab, Diversity and Inclusion.
Hello, I'm Lorraine, Manager of Bristol Living Lab, and during this talk you will also hear from other members of our team. The European Network of Living Labs fosters research and innovation in communities. It is therefore crucial that we address the lack of diversity within the network, and that as Living Labs we develop more inclusive practices. I will be sharing Bristol Living Lab's approach to diversity and inclusion, including some of our values, projects, methods and key learning.
Bristol Living Lab is a place where citizens, artists, technologists, businesses, researchers and public sector organisations come together to co-create ideas, tools and technologies to address local challenges, to innovate and explore new possibilities. It is led by Norwest Media Centre. We are a non-profit organisation with over 20 years' experience of working with communities and individuals to understand how digital technologies can be utilised to meet local needs. We are based within the community of Norwest, an area of approximately 5,500 households in South Bristol. It is an area that ranks highly in the UK government indices of multiple deprivation. We work collaboratively with people from different backgrounds to develop new and creative models for achieving positive social change. Equity is one of our core values. We should reflect on what the terms diversity, inclusion and equity mean. These terms are often used interchangeably. If we struggle to define them, we will struggle to find the solutions. Diversity is about having different identities represented, for example, different races or genders, whilst inclusion is about people with different identities being and feeling valued, their thoughts, ideas and perspectives. Equity ensures everyone has access to the same opportunities. We recognise that advantages and barriers exist, that we don't all start from the same place. Equity begins by acknowledging that unequal starting place and makes a commitment to correct and address the imbalance. So why is this important for Living Labs? Many people face discrimination, including Black, Asian and other visible minority ethnic communities, people who experience socio-economic disadvantage, people with a disability. It is essential for organisations such as ours who have influence to support people who experience discrimination, whose voices aren't often heard and who face barriers to living safe and fulfilled lives, so they can achieve their ambitions, and together we can create a fairer society that values and respects difference. Bristol Living Lab's approach is centred on working collaboratively with people from different backgrounds to develop new and creative models for achieving positive social change, to ensure the inclusion of individuals and groups at risk of social and digital exclusion, and to support them to become active citizens with equal access to the city's opportunities. Our practice draws upon socially engaged arts, participatory design, co-creation and coaching methods. We are a partner in Parkos, a 3-year participatory science communication project funded under Horizon 2020. We are developing principles for diversity and inclusion to guide the development of 3 citizen science case studies in Belgium, Finland and the UK. As part of this, we are reflecting on our approach to diversity and inclusion, including our organisational values, methods and tools, accessibility to spaces, events and materials, reviewing best practice, sharing experiences and learning from others. We recognise it's important that our buildings, equipment, events and activities and communications are accessible. Our communications manager has recently been part of a cohort studying the Bristol Accessible Venues training course, and we'll be using the learning to improve accessibility. It's also important to think beyond this towards a stronger form of inclusion where questions of knowledge, representation, power and cultural change are addressed. We'll now tell you about some of our projects that seek to address this. Mina, Head of Young People and Emerging Creatives, will tell you about one of her team's projects.
From Her Digital was an 8-week training program designed to support women into education, further training or into jobs. People applied interested in becoming either web developers, graphic designers, digital marketers, a whole range of opportunities that exist within the digital and creative tech sphere. We decided that the program would be led by an all-female cohort, and so we actually found that for the participants, it was really inspiring for them to work with women that were working within those careers and then offering that training. And again, being part of a female cohort, it meant that it took away any kind of barriers or any kind of judgment, and those women formed their own peer group. We focused on skills, knowledge and tools. So women had access to cameras, tech, kit they didn't normally have access to. They were able to develop that new knowledge through the participants and the trainers on the program, and they learned new skills by building websites and by designing brands and logos using the software. We tried to take out all the barriers, so we offered childcare and other caring allowances. We offered some travel, transport, and that enabled women to participate fully without some of the usual problems you might have when you're returning to work. The last thing we did was we focused on women that were underrepresented within the tech industry. So not just women from Black, Asian, minority ethnic backgrounds, but people that were also carers, people that were disabilities, or people that had been returning to work from a long period of time.
Now Zoe and Josephine in our Sustainable Neighbourhoods team will tell you about our digital city.
Our Digital City is a Bristol City Council impact-funded project which aims to make Bristol more digitally inclusive, a city where no one is left behind and everyone can access the benefits of technology. We are collaborating with underserved communities across Bristol on their terms. Recent Bristol City Council data shows that although 82% of households are comfortable using digital services, the percentage drops significantly in deprived areas to 72%. Increasing this is key to make it easy for everyone to participate in democracy, elevating voices that are often unheard to be on the same level as those from more affluent areas.
In practice, this is meeting people where they are, giving them opportunities to learn skills they want to by sharing stories like podcasting and filmmaking with your mobile phone and community journalism, making connections like digital manufacturing, and also physically making things, but also making virtual connections between communities, creating positive change, empowering people with new skills and confidence, exploring new tools and approaches, using citizen sensing to air quality and noise pollution. A recent example project gave participants training to make films about nature in their local areas with people in Lawrence Hill and Filwood. We also delivered VR taster workshop sessions for the elderly, giving them opportunities to use technologies completely new to them in spaces that they felt safe and confident.
So what have we learned? Diversity and inclusion must be a long-term commitment, not a tick box exercise. We all need to challenge discrimination and prejudice. NL and the Living Labs, who are a member of the network, must support those who experience discrimination and strive for equity. We can create safe spaces for discussion, but we have to move from plans to action. We need to reflect, learn, and continually improve. Thanks for listening. For more information, these are our contact details.